perfect guide on how not to deliver vehicles in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. You're in the right place. Today we're going to have a look at some of the deliveries on Hong Kong Island, and I'm kind of going to highlight what not to do with some of these deliveries. Kind of what I want to be doing on Fridays here is kicking back, relaxing, exploring the delivery missions, the navigation missions that we've got in the game, because we've got some fantastic opportunities here, particularly with the delivery missions. It means we can jump into cars, much like the weekly events that we normally wouldn't jump into. I'm going to highlight it in the very first delivery mission that we're going to do today, and it's delivering the Lancia Stratos. Quite an interesting one. 8.5 mile delivery, foggy, wet road conditions, medium traffic. Kind of the typical what we're used to by now. But I personally in game have not used the Stratos just yet. It's going to be fun to see what it's like.
Thanks for taking care of this. Make sure it gets there without scratches.
Typical intro that we're going to get with the Stratos, of course, but look how unbelievably small that car looks next to the people standing next to it, of course. So first of all, we're going to look at the Lancia Stratos. Now, this should be a fantastic car in game. It should be sensational off-road with the rally pedigree that the Stratos has got. But I've seen some horror stories, in the forums, in Test Drive's Discord, that the Stratos really doesn't live up to the rally nature that it really pretty much should have. So for me, I've kind of stayed away from it, but the delivery missions give us the opportunity to jump into the Stratos, see what it's like, is it any good in game, physically jump into the car and see if it's something I personally want to own. Now, first of all, it sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm sure you guys will agree, it does sound like a fantastic car, but these delivery missions have an issue. Touching central shrubbery. We've just lost 3% touching grass, essentially. Touching a little bush there. It's a big punishment, and that doesn't stop there. It's going to continue. Now, of course, you have the trepidation in these delivery missions of the traffic, having to look left and right coming out of junctions to make sure you don't scratch or damage the cars. Get past that bar 500, it was going far too slow for us. So in the delivery missions, we've got a lot of risk. We can't touch bushes, we can't touch other cars, we can't touch traffic cones. It's going to affect the overall result, the money that we earn from doing these delivery missions, and I actually quite like it. What I kind of want to focus on with delivery missions is kicking back, relaxing, and enjoying some of these cars, like I mentioned, that we don't typically get to go into all too much. Now, the Stratos is maybe not the overly expensive car that you maybe want to jump into with some of the deliveries, but it gives you the idea of what this thing feels like, if it's going to be competitive for some other racing, or if you physically just want to jump into it because you like the car brand. I do like the old Lancias, maybe not some of the new ones, but the old Stratos, the Delta Integrale. They were fantastic cars, and they were ones we watched, or I personally watched growing up, through obviously the World Rally Championship and other rallying events. So being able to use it on these missions, I quite like it. And the details we've got inside the car, that instrument cluster is absolutely fantastic. I think the way they've captured a lot of details in this game, it's something we don't look at all too often. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, I don't drive on the cockpit view all too much. We just lost another 6% or 5%, I believe it was, tapping the side of that car, which is unfortunate. But I don't typically use the cockpit view all too much in the game, and I've kind of spoke about that before. The issues we've got with hands coming off the steering wheels to change gears when the thing's an automatic and it's got flappy paddle gearbox, it irritates me that much. I don't use the cockpit view, but I'm now coming back to use it more and more. And I just touched the traffic cone and absolutely tanked 20% of our delivery reward. It's very frustrating, but I'll come back at some point. I'll redo this delivery mission, I'll get the full result. What I'm trying to do here is just jump into it, have a bit of fun. One other interesting thing here, does anybody actually use this camera? I genuinely feel nauseous. I feel sick using this camera when it jumps in and out and rocks about with the car. If you use this, I absolutely salute you. Whenever I've tried to use this camera, I genuinely feel motion sickness. It's not one I enjoy using. I like to zoom back out a level, and that's been the camera I've used so far. But back to the delivery mission itself. Touching very small things like shrubbery, like the traffic cones, losing so much of that reward, it's devastating. But that then comes back to the theory that we don't need to be rushing through these. We can jump into the car, relax, enjoy the car itself, jump into that cockpit mode if you're using a wheel, just have a little bit of a cruise around in somebody else's car, and then obviously earn some passive income in game. I like it as the theory. That's what we liked in the previous editions, and with it now being here on TDUSC, I want to get back to that, and I want to just enjoy driving the car, not being competitive, not trying to be the fastest on the map, just enjoying what we've got. And it's what we all wanted for such a long time, and now we've got it. People are moaning that it's not something else. What can the guys do? What can the devs actually do here to please everybody? They can't. I like what it is. Maybe the penalties are a bit difficult to stomach, but it's the way the cookie crumbles sometime. Unfortunately, we just missed the turning. Oh, we just missed the turning and the Alfa Mito. That probably would have wiped out the entire haul we're going to get from this delivery mission, but it is what it is. Yeah, the devs can't please everybody, and I kind of want to touch on that as well. A lot of people moan about X, Y, or Z in game. But what can they really do? They cannot please everybody. People wanted delivery missions in game. They've got them. Now that they're in game, people are moaning that they're not something bigger, bolder and brighter. At some point, we've kind of got to just realise that there's limitations. Nacon isn't the biggest of company. They don't have the most amount of resources to kind of put into the game to develop, and at some point we actually have to realise that that is going to be the case here with Test Drive Unlimited. Yes, they will undoubtedly have made a huge profit on the game so far, and that's probably quite prevalent with the fact that we're still getting upgrades, we're still getting progress, we're still getting developments. So I'm not concerned about the long-term future of Test Drive, but where we're getting updates, where we're getting the additions to the game, we do want more. And I'm going to give the other side of the coin of this one. We do need more in-game. We do need houses. Obviously that's been spoken about. Alex has been very clear with that we're going to get houses at some point. Next update, we're getting a casino. Fantastic. In-game, it's going to be easy enough to earn money with the addition of casino. Then obviously people are talking about addition of cars. And I've spoken boldly about this before. We do need more cars in this game, especially in my opinion we need more Japanese, Asian cars specifically. There is a huge lack. 20% for tapping another cone. Jeez. Under 50% now we're going to get from this one. That's horrible to see. But yeah, we need more Asian cars in this game. We've got an Asian dealership with just 3 cars in it. That really needs to be addressed in future updates. But we're not here to talk about that, are we? We're here to talk about what we have got, and that is the delivery missions itself. Playing about with the Lancia Stratos, fantastic. I actually quite like it as a car in game. I do think this one could be quite a competitive car going forward. I'm quite looking forward to actually playing about with this one, and I do think just from doing this delivery mission, it's a car I'm going to actually look to purchase. Maybe there's some future weekly events come up that we're going to need the Stratos for. So I think I'm going to keep this on my radar, whether it's going to be an on-road car or an off-road car. Can we play about with the headlights like the old MX-5s? Can we make the headlights flop at opposite ways? No, we can't. They're well in sync with one another. That's quite disappointing. We can see with a lot of other cars, when you flip the headlights up and down, they kind of go opposite to one another, depending on how the motors are kind of set up. But overall, the Stratos for me felt like a good car. Came in a bit hot there to the ending there. The Stratos, it did feel like a good car, and it genuinely actually feels like something I'm going to pick up for some later races or weekly events. Just sitting outside the box, had to nudge it forward to complete off the weekly event, the delivery. What's our outro we're going to get here?
Thanks for that. I'll take over from here. See you later.
Same old. Not the most exciting or charismatic outro for delivering the Stratos, but it is what it is. We're going to get a nice little haul there. It would have been 40,000 credits for the delivery. An astonishing 23,500 of it taken out for tapping a couple of cones, a bush, and scratching against the side of a car. That's quite horrible to see. So there we go, first delivery of the day. That's how not to deliver a car. Don't touch the traffic cones, don't touch the shrubberies, more importantly, don't crash into anything. It's going to wreck your delivery, it's going to wreck your haul overall. But we're not going to stop there, we're going to come over to the second one, and this is one I did want to get into. We obviously got treated to this one on the leaks for Season 3, and that's delivering the Lamborghini Huracan Performante, a 9.5 mile dry clear delivery, again with medium traffic. Now of course we got the leak for this one. This was the drop that Alex 7 gave for us coming into Season 3, that the delivery missions were coming back. This of course is set up by Angie Graham, which is cool to see. It is a disgustingly bright green Lamborghini Huracan. Now, it's again going to be quite interesting. I've spent a lot of time in this game in my Huracan Performante and of course the Fluoro Capsule for off-road racing. So coming back to a stock Huracan, it's going to be eye-opening. It's going to be interesting to see just how stock this car is. Now, getting off to the worst possible start, the right hand barrier doesn't open up for us. Then we try to pass the barrier, it pushes us across, and we hit the left hand motor mechanism for lifting up the left hand barrier. Already lost 6% off of this delivery. Why the right hand barrier never opened is very annoying. Why it happened, of course, it's for the other side of the road, but come on. They could have helped us out a little bit. We've already lost 6% of the haul for this delivery mission. That sucks. Be careful coming out of the car park on the Huracan delivery mission, guys. Then, again, another traffic cone, and we lost 40% of our haul for hitting a goddamn traffic cone. The punishments are excruciating to stomach, but it then brings me back to the thought process of why we should, or how I want to be approaching the delivery missions. Not coming in aggressively, overly fast, overly flamboyant. Come in and enjoy them. Relax, drive the car as if you are actually a delivery driver. That's one reason I'm not a delivery driver, because I would trash the arse out of everybody's car. I think everybody would be the same. If you were given a Lamborghini Huracan to deliver, you're going to see how fast that thing is. Chances are you'll probably crash it. Guys, I'm in the same boat. I would be doing exactly the same thing. And then this happens. A jump. And we drop all the way down to 20%. Be careful on this Huracan delivery. If you catch air and you land back on all four wheels without causing any damage, you're still going to lose 40 to 60% of your haul for this delivery. That's awful. It's absolutely devastating to see. I know a lot of people have already been caught out of this one, guys. So be very careful on the Lamborghini Huracan delivery, because you will lose a substantial amount of your haul by catching air coming off that little freeway section back there. That is awful to see, but it doesn't stop there, guys. I'm going to show you exactly how not to do these delivery missions if I haven't already shown you that so far. We're going to squeeze it between a couple of cars. What was that, a TT and a Range Rover Sport just there? Managing not to crash into the back of the taxi, fantastic. Overtake the little Porsche Cayenne, was that a Cayenne there? I believe it was, yeah. And a couple of interesting things are going to happen next. We've got a tunnel run, and we're going to, well, we've already lost, what's that, 80% almost of our haul. So if it all ends in tears, it all ends in tears. I don't really care, because we're not going to get paid that much for this delivery. But we're going to do a tunnel run in somebody else's car, and this is exactly what I would do in real life if I were getting into some delivery sort of job and I had to deliver a Huracan Performante. You bet your bottom dollar I would be trashing this 180 miles per hour down a motorway, freeway, tunnel section. Damn right I would. If I was on my motorbike outside, you want to do a tunnel run, you want to hear that exhaust kind of echoing behind you coming through those tunnels. It's not going to change. That's why I am not a delivery driver. I think a lot of you guys would be exactly the same. But this delivery mission, guys, it's going to end in tears if it hasn't done so already. We're going to get to that very shortly indeed. But yeah, I like what we've got here. We've just got to be more careful. We've got to be relaxed, come into them, approach them differently, as we almost got sideswiped by a taxi coming on to merge with the road. Yeah, I like the delivery missions. I just want to kick back, relax, and enjoy what we've kind of got here. This is why I kind of spoke about perhaps even streaming these. Maybe we kick back on a Sunday, do some delivery missions, just have a general chat on stream. It's something I kind of want to get towards doing as we go forward. But this one, like I mentioned, guys, it ends in tears. Although it's been really bad so far, we get brake checked from an Audi TT and we lose it all.
Is this a joke?
Yeah, we end with nothing on the Huracan. It's a difficult one, but it is what it is. We can see that delivery mission has now disappeared from the map, unfortunately. But that's the risk we've got with these deliveries. There is good payouts to be had, but it can all go like that. Yeah, we need to come in and take care with everything. We're going to come on to something interesting shortly that I also found after we kind of complete the contracts here. But to just kind of summarise the delivery missions, there's the opportunity here to come in and have a lot of fun, do the missions, enjoy essentially what it is we've got there, because it is fantastic to have these back in the game. So long as you don't do what I just did and make an absolute mockery of them, crashing, hitting cones, hitting shrubbery, losing the haul there almost instantly. We've got to come in, we've got to be careful. Obviously, we can come into our own cars here, the very, very, very Scottish liveried Bugatti Veyron I've got here. We can come in, we can do the donuts roundabouts, we can smash into railings, hit shrubbery. It's not going to cause us all too much pain. But on those delivery missions, we need to kind of come in there now and start taking a bit of care, and it's something I am going to do going forward. Just simply enjoy it, because it's something we wanted back in game. We've wanted it for so long, we've been crying for it. Well, now we've got it, and I want to actually enjoy it like I did with Test Drive 1 and 2. Get into the delivery missions. Ooh, we almost crashed there. Get into these delivery missions, enjoy what we've got, enjoy the cars, explore them, have a feel for the car, and, you know, kind of think about, is this something I actually want to purchase? The Lancia Stratos, for one, is one I do now actually want to purchase in game. Now, something interesting I did also find here, without crashing into the highway signs, when we come off this little slip road here, we come down to a dead end, and this is obviously a road closure, and it started to make me think, are we getting an expansion to Hong Kong Island? How can they expand an island that is already there? So for context, the Hong Kong Island itself is just an island off the mainland of Hong Kong City, and this road that's closed goes underneath the ocean, and we can see on the map here there is no sign of anything more northern than where we're currently sat. So what is actually the purpose of this? What is this? Are we actually getting an expansion to Hong Kong Island? I'm going to go to the overground so we can look at towards the ocean, or perhaps get right to the ocean side, see if we can actually see where this road perhaps leads to, and perhaps where this road does come out. We can't go that way. Right. Yeah, we can't go around there, so we're going to have to go to the other side of the freeway here. Luckily we're in a van and we're going to get around there fairly quickly indeed. If we just cut back across the bushes, round the other side of the road here, and we can maybe, yeah, we'll get to the back of these buildings. It's just some fences in the way, we'll take them out. It's not really going to matter all too much. So we'll follow that road all the way down here, and more containers. There's a lot of things to get through here, guys. But hopefully we can see in the distance what it is potentially maybe coming to the game, or if it's just a pipe dream or not. The chances are I think it's going to be a pipe dream. I don't think we're going to get Hong Kong Island expanded at all. If anything, it'll be Ibiza's map that gets expanded. This is the full Hong Kong Island map. I don't think there's going to be an expansion, but we can see there in the distance what I believe will be, if we're at the northern part of Hong Kong Island, we'll be looking over towards the mainland of Hong Kong. So the tunnel would be directly below us right now, and we would indeed be looking right over there towards mainland Hong Kong. So unless they are going to pay a fortune for the rights, I don't think we're crossing the sea. I don't think we're going to be going over to Hong Kong mainland. We can see there's absolutely no signs of it on the map there. It is literally just the ocean. And if we can picture this, we're essentially here at number 4, and we're looking towards Kowloon City District. That will be mainland Hong Kong City. That's of course from Google Maps. That's probably not going to be something. We haven't found a gem there, guys. I don't think we're going to be getting Hong Kong mainland. It would be fantastic if we did, don't get me wrong, I would love it. But I think that's maybe a bit much to be asking for. Let's perhaps look towards Ibiza, which I think there's more of a chance of us potentially getting expanded. Of course, we spoke previously about the glitches on the map where you can drop off the waterfront over on Ibiza. There's plenty content out there about that. You can drop off the waterfront, you can go to the bottom of the seabed, travel for about half an hour, then you come to some test ground. It would have been when the Ibiza map was built. I do think there is a potential for Ibiza to be expanded. We still cannot get 100% road completion on the Ibiza map, unlike Hong Kong Island, so that pretty much indicates to me that we will likely get expansions to Ibiza. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. I hope you've enjoyed exploring some of the deliveries with myself. Going to probably carry on doing deliveries and navigation missions, maybe even just on Fridays. We'll see what happens going forward, guys, but hope you've enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for more updates on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.